we had these white boards, and I don't know what was on them. This is actually painted by me, but there was like a white chalky something on them. But they looked kind of worn and cool, so I really, really, really liked them. And I wanted to have Matt cut stockings or old socks out of them, different shapes, different sizes, just freehand them. So all four of us sat down to see who could make socks because none of us could when we did this. It was like, it was harder than we thought, but we got it. And so Matt cut them out, and then when he was sanding them just to get all the rough edges, the white, it wasn't paint, I don't know what it was like chalk or something was coming off, so that didn't work. So I just painted them white, but then I really wanted them to look like old socks, you know, hanging, you know, like in the old movies in the wintertime, like old socks hanging by the fireplace to dry them off and stuff. So I wanted them to look like that. Yes, and fabric you can get anywhere. You can get fabric at any fabric store, at Walmart, at Joann's, Hobby Lobby. Yes, by all means. When I can go to a thrift store and get a scarf for 88 cents and a hat for 88 cents and get, you know, 100 little gnomes, I was just sharing it that way. But yes, for sure, for sure. An old sweater or like a wool sweater would be really cool too. I'm back at the thrift store, but any fabric at any fabric store would work. So anyway, so what I did is I wanted this to look dirty. I did not want it to look white. So I thought I'd share with you what I did. And then I will take the phone upstairs and show you where I hung the brown thing. Okay, so it's these. And I will put a link in this up above to the blog post. If you scroll back in the My Creative Days Facebook page, just yesterday, I put in the link to the blog post for all about the gnomes and the supplies I use and actually had to buy. I am sorry, that sun's coming through. That was my window. So all of that's in there. And I tell you where I got these. I got them for under $2 for a bag of them. So if you look there, or when I'm done here, I will put the link up in the description to the blog post. I didn't do that, I'm sorry. But this is what they are. Like little wood chips. I think that's what they're called too, wood chips or something. So anyway, I wanted these socks to look like old dirty socks. And so I used, anybody else wrap up their paintbrushes in plastic or when they're using them? This is what I use. I'm trying to get out of the sun. So this is the black Dixie Belle wax and just an old paintbrush. I slapped some on here. And it looks like, this wax is a lot easier to use than some of the waxes I've used. It's like I'm not getting a huge, like some of them you really have to work in. So this is, I just put enough wax on for four socks, but that's okay. The dirtier the better. That's what I wanted them to look like. So what I did is I just used this old kid's paintbrush that Gabrielle never uses. And then I put on this wax all around. And I should tell you, after I painted these white, because the original, whatever was on them didn't work, I did go out and sand them again so that they were kind of roughed up around the edges. And so with this wax, with any of the wood, make sure you guys can see it, any of the wood that I sanded around the edges where the white paint is off, I wanted to get this wax really into there so it looked black. So after I did that, and I get messy and don't have paint on again, and I have aprons too. You think I would wear those? No, and they're just on my office, the back of my door. And then I just took paper towels, and so I'm just rubbing this in. Hopefully I'm not moving the camera too much. So I'm just basically smoothing it out so it doesn't look like a mess like it was. Same thing on the edges. The hardest part to this project was drawing the socks. The other part, Matt just cut them out with, you know, you saw it, and then I did decide where to put the hole, so he just drilled a hole in there. So that's how we hung them. Okay, so then when I got to this point, I thought it was a little too dark and a little too black and white, if that makes sense. I don't know why yeah, scare it. Oh, no, I didn't think you were disrespectful. No, not at all. I just like to share ways that I save money to decorate. No, not at all. Yeah, any fabric store for sure. So then I went in with this. I've been sharing this a lot, this Restore Finish, this stuff. We've used it in our flip houses. We've, like cabinets and floors, and this stuff is unbelievable. And it stinks and it's like staying, so I'm just showing you this one stocking, so probably do this outside. So this is the color dark one that it should be, yes. It kind of pulled the dark, it's not gonna be a huge difference, but it kind of pulled the dark wax off the sock, if you can see that happening. So it kind of lightened it up, and it made it kind of brownish too, so it wasn't just black and white, it looked more dirty, and that's what I was going for. I wanted these to look dirty. And it'll make sense once I show you. We got them up last night, and I wanted all of them to go up, but we didn't have enough room for this one. And so I did that on the sides too. It just kind of pulls away and just adds some brown with the black and white, like I said, and just finishes it. Okay, that's on the side. I let these sit overnight. So let these, because the wax and this Restore Finish, let me get the lid back on this so I don't seal it. It's kind of, and different wood will be different, but like I said, whatever this had on it, it's just old boards we pick up at Restore or yard sales, and we just, if it's good like wood, we keep it for projects just like this. But whatever was on this one, it doesn't want to penetrate the wood so fast like it would if it was raw wood. So I let these sit overnight, and that worked. But see, I just kind of wanted them to look dirty, not just like white socks. If that makes sense. So let me show you. I'm going to take this off. My hands are dirty. Okay. I was not planning on doing this in our mess, and I'm still, so this is where they are. Let me open the front door so I can get more light. I'm still decorating, so there's boxes everywhere, but this is what we did then with them. We hung them there, and we just used this rope that we had in the garage, and then I got this ribbon a couple years ago in the Hearth and Hand, like 90% off after Christmas. So we just had the rope, and I just felt like it still needed something. It just looked a little too, I don't know, harsh. Harsh is the wrong word, but so that's where we hung them, and they don't just look like socks now; they look like dirty socks hanging like over the fire. So that is, you can see here where they're not just white; they're black and brown and kind of look grody. But that's what I was going for. So